Good afternoon, Mr. Witness. Kindly take your seat.
Thank you.
Mr. Witness, as a matter of routine, may I remind you once again that you are still under oath before I hand you over to Madam Chair for us to proceed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I hand over the witness to you for us to proceed.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gaye.
Good afternoon, ma.
Yes, you're welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor, you may proceed.
Now, Mr. Gaye, how many Espace models were to have a joint account with KMC at Ajib Bank? Yes.
Can you repeat that, please?
Like one of your arrangements with KMC is to have a joint account, the Mbalit account, you call it?
That's correct.
Is that the account that was supposed to have the $4 million minimum, going by the contract?
That would be one, yeah.
That would be?
One.
I don't understand what you mean.
There were two types of accounts, one for the ward trucks and one for the council trucks.
One for the ward trucks?
Yes.
And one for the council?
Yes.
And what were the purpose of these two accounts?
For the funds to be remitted there monthly.
Which of the accounts?
The council trucks and ward trucks.
No, but which of the accounts should contain the $4 million minimum?
The one for the ward trucks. The one for the council trucks. There was an independent account that is deposited for $4 million.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, you have 1.3.6, which says council will maintain a fixed deposit account in the books of Ajib Bank with a minimum balance of $4 million at all times. Shortfalls in monthly installments will be recovered from this fixed deposit account. You understand that?
Yes.
So was an account opened newly? Like, was a new account opened that would have $4 million?
I guess so. I'm not 100% sure, but the instructions was that this deposit was purposely for the withdrawal of funds that were not reaching.
But was a new account open, or was it the Mbalit account?
It was part of the Mbalit project. I don't know if it was a new account, but the details are set up there. This was supposed to be a fixed deposit.
Can you find out about that account?
Sure, I can
and
find
how much
out.
was deposited, and what is the period of the deposit as well?
Okay. I'm sorry, I just forgot my pen in my car, so I'm going to need something to write on with.
Yes.
No, I got papers.
Now, in whose name will these trucks be? The ownership?
They were in KMC name.
1.3.5 says the procurement of the trucks will be done by ward development committees and facilitated by KMC. Furthermore, the trucks themselves would serve as guarantor or security to the facility or for Espace, and the trucks would be in the joint name of Espace and the ward development committee.
That would refer to the ownership, but they were all on the KMC name.
Yeah, but I'm just going by the agreement
that
you have signed with the KMC to Jaya Cham. It is to the fact that the procurement of the trucks will be done by the ward development committees. That's what you have signed for. Do you understand? And that the trucks themselves will serve as a guarantor or security facility. What does that mean? How would the trucks serve as a guarantor?
Well, there were no collaterals. There were no collaterals from KMC, whether it was a landed property also. Okay. The only
why is that?
Why would there were no collaterals?
Yes.
Because on the tender document it simply said financing. There was nothing mentioned as collaterals. So
that's for you to request. If you can finance them without the KMC providing any collateral, that would be good. But that's for you to request the financer and the bank.
I agree with that.
So why was it not necessary to have a collateral?
Because we trusted in the project.
Without an evaluation, without a project document, without an evaluation report provided.
An evaluation report? No, we didn't have any evaluation report
That's what I'm
provided.
saying. No evaluation report, no project document to ascertain the cost, the expected cost to be generated from this project. On what basis did you trust the project?
When we had meetings with them and the feasibility of the 3 years to finance it and the feasibility of the expected revenue, although it wasn't something guaranteed, but we have believed in the project and that's why we worked on it and it paid off at the end of the year.
It did not pay off at the end of the year.
Yeah, at the end of the 3 years, we have it was fully paid. There was nothing outstanding.
But not from the trucks.
In general, we were dealing with KMC as an institution.
With the hope that the monies that the trucks will generate will be used to finance the loan.
Yeah, that would be correct because that's what KMC was banking on as well as an institution.
Yes.
The wards were under their custody and they were supposed to be monitoring and getting the revenue from these wards.
Right.
So as an institution, they were responsible to get the funds from the wards.
Yes.
And that's why we established offices and ticketing systems, payment systems in place so that at the end of the day, KMC as an institution will collect the funds and make a payment into the AJEP accounts we have set up for them.
How much did the trucks generate?
How much they were generating? I wouldn't know because I was not involved in the financial aspects of the transactions.
Who was involved?
We left everything to AJEP. They were the ones doing the...
AJEP was not dealing with KMC. They didn't give their money to KMC, they gave the money to Espace Motors.
Yes, but Espace Motors gave the power of attorney, for example, to AJEP to monitor all the payments through the accounts with AJEP, the collections being paid into AJEP, and if there were any shortfalls, then they were going to go through these channels to make sure.
To start with, do you have the power of attorney?
No, there wasn't any power of attorney. We wrote. Yeah, I said, for example, like a power of attorney. We gave the liability for KMC.
Let's not go really dwell on that. Did you give them a retreat
authority?
We did.
No, we didn't. We didn't do that. We only wrote to AJEP to say. We only wrote to KMC to say AJEP, and we specify who will be responsible for the accounts.
Well, for the accounts.
Yeah, for the accounts.
Where is that letter?
It's in one of your documents. On one of our letters dated 13th March 2019, addressed to the CEO of KMC, we instructed them to please deposit proceeds of the operations of the KMC garbage compactor trucks, skip trucks, and septic emptiers into account number, which is the KMC and a quantum AJEP account.
Yes.
We further authorized Nuha Marina and Samba Fire of the AJEP Bank Limited to be signatories to this account, together with the Chief Executive Officer of the KMC and Director of Finance as agreed.
Yes, but that is not a letter authorizing AJEP Bank to go after the monies that KMC owe you.
Yeah, but in principle, as a group, AJEP was handling everything for us.
But we don't see evidence of that. You understand?
Yeah, but the partnership account, that's how it works with AJEP.
I'm saying we don't see evidence of that.
Okay,
AJEP
I
said
agree.
they had an authority from you, Espace, with respect to recovering monies from KMC, but they never really had any financial obligation with KMC, they had a financial obligation with you, Espace Motors. Your partnership should be such that they can recover their monies from you in the event you default.
Who, Ajib?
Yes, they should come after you, Espace Motors, in the event you default. They don't want to tie their hands with KMC. They want to have an arrangement with you based on your partnership or joint venture. You understand?
No, the way our partnership works is that Ajib is responsible for the administration of the whole project.
Which project?
The Malit project.
So there was a partnership agreement that specifically mentioned the Malit project?
No, that is no. That wasn't the case. No.
Exactly. There was no partnership agreement that specifically mentioned. You had a general partnership agreement with Ajib. Correct?
Yes.
Yes. Not with respect to the Malit. General partnership agreement that you will finance. So when you came in the picture, you wrote to Ajib for Ajib to finance.
That's correct.
Yes, but in fact, the reality is Ajib came to you first, that we knew about from the testimony of Samba Fai. You get it? But you said that was news to you.
Yeah, because this is a group. This is a group operations that have been existing way before the Mbalit project came into phase. So it wasn't something new to us for that to happen. For the magnitude of that amount of money, we will certainly work on how we were going to get this guarantee.
Yes.
Yeah. So, as a bank, Ajib came in. If you look at what we had to finance it for 3 years,
yes,
with this particular amount.
Yes. Go ahead.
We had to give a discount, like the amounts of interest that were supposed to be charged. Ajib doesn't charge interest. So instead of us charging up to 17 or 18%, we end up doing only less than 10%. So we were not.
Ajib doesn't charge interest.
As a bank, as an Islamic bank, it's not interest. There is administrative fee, so they call it modal. I don't know what the modalities are, but
yes,
yeah,
yes. And now, but you charge interest, and they had 60% of the interest.
They have
60%. So they had the interest indirectly from you.
That's 60-40, you mean?
Yes.
That is correct.
So if they don't charge interest directly to KMC, then they have the interest from the dealings they had with Espace. So interest will charge the interest. And that is the financing you were talking about when you raised the invoice from Futon from $90,000 to $110,000 or $15,000.
That's correct, but this is over a 3-year period, so it was a 3-year period financing.
How did you arrive at the decision to have the unit price to be about $115 from $90,000? When the bank, you have said the bank does not really charge interest. How do you arrive at that figure, the financing? The financing
were calculated, I guess, by the bank itself, because we had to tell the bank.
So
over a period of time. Yeah, they have to.
Did they give you? Did you sign a loan facility with Ajib?
No, we don't sign loan facilities.
There's no loan facility with Ajib.
No, we don't.
Do you? So where is this 60%, 40% is in the partnership agreement?
That is correct.
For every type of
every transaction, for every vehicle, yeah, for every vehicle that they put in, yeah, that's the share.
For every generally or for the Malit project?
No, generally.
For generally. Okay, so again, we have requested for the document and we will wait for it. Now,
Mr. Gaye, I just heard you say, and before we went for break, you said that KMC was able to liquidate the amount it owes to Espace within the 3-year period. But we have had evidence from Mr. Fai that from the inception they knew that the project was not viable. So how did the turnaround happen? Because the reason why I ask is KMC did not present to you any assessment,
Yes.
right? And in fact, it was very clear in their documentation that they had a meeting and they resolved that the trucks, the agreement should be signed between the wards and Espace Motors, and the council should not be committed in the payment activity of the financing of this transaction. They made a resolution to that effect. So my concern is having realized that the trucks cannot generate the income. Did you think that the 3-year period that was signed off should have been a realistic time frame for KMC to have signed on?
Yes, we had always believed that it is a realistic project. It could pay off within the time that was framed, and this was based on our.
So if that is the case, then you have a knowledge that the municipality has money other than the trucks, which we are supposed to guarantee itself to be able to pay the liability. Did you have that knowledge? Because it is only when you have that knowledge that you will be comfortable in committing the entire council. That is the main account of the council to be able to repay this loan.
Yeah. We had knowledge from our various meetings of the intended ways to regain the money through the wards.
Thank you, Mr. Gaye. Council, you may proceed.
Mr. Gaye,
Yes, sir.
I have a few things that I want you to also discuss. Number one, in relation to the insurance, the property would have been in your name, the vehicles in your name, and the KMC or the ward's name, correct? Going by the agreement you signed.
Okay.
Do you agree? Where it says, and I had read this to you before. On the agreement 1.3.5, where it says that the procurement of the trucks will be done by ward development committees and facilitated by the KMC. Furthermore, the trucks themselves will serve as guarantor or security to the facility of Espace, and the trucks would be in the joint names of Espace and the ward development committee. This is a fact?
Yeah, that was stated, but when we were registering the vehicles for transport, everything was registered under KMC.
But why?
There was no need for a transfer of ownership.
The agreement you signed is that the trucks would be in your name jointly. That's the agreement you signed.
That
You
was
want to confirm that?
Yeah, that was for the ward trucks.
Yes.
And you said it's 1 point.
Yes.
Can you refer me to where you were reading?
1.3.5.
Okay, the procurement of the trucks will be done by the ward development committees and facilitated by the KMC. The trucks themselves would serve as guarantee security to the facility or for Espace, and the trucks would be in the joint name of Espace and the WDCs. Okay.
So going by this, why would KMC pay insurance if ownership is not passed fully, going by the agreement?
All the vehicles were registered under KMC and not individually to the WDCs.
I'm strictly going by the agreement that was signed.
I understand.
That you still would be, you will have an ownership right over the vehicles as long as the monies are not paid. That's why the vehicles themselves are I will serve as a security.
At the security, yes.
Yes. So why would they pay the insurance? Is there any reason? When ownership is not supposed to pass to KMC? In fact, this was raised in one of the contracts committee meetings of the 4th of July 2019, where it says 3.0 insurance for what? Trucks. A member suggested that hence the agreement with Espace Motors was that council does not own the trucks. That is the evidence. The vehicles are currently under the ownership of Espace Motors until after 3 years, when they would transfer them to council. As such, the risk is still with Espace until the final payment of the truck is made. Then council would take over the insurance expenses. But they were made to pay about 50%, I understand?
Yeah, they paid 50%, and they spread the other 50% through the financing.
Would that not be against the agreement?
It could be against the agreement, but they were registered under KMC to in full.
Yes, but you register them under KMC so that you avoid paying your insurance. As simple as that. You were not supposed to register it under KMC. Ownership was not supposed to pass, because remember, the trucks would have been security. How would you exercise security over the trucks if you pass ownership? You understand my question?
I note that, sir.
Come again?
As it's noted. I said it's noted. I understand what you said.
So what is your reply?
We definitely did not register on the KMC just to pass insurance over it, because if you look at the insurance, it's about 2 million. They paid 1 million. We gave them as financing of 1 million, and we spread it over 3 years. And you're talking about 2 million when we have given them 105 million.
Let's talk about $1. Even $1.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So
even if the insurance is $1, you see, the reason why we're here is not our money, you and I. It's our public funds.
Yeah.
So accountability is what we are doing right now.
That's correct.
Figures in my head does not or may not be relevant when we're talking about public funds. Corruption of a $1 or mismanagement of $1 is the same to me.
Okay.
When it is $1 million.
Okay.
But the point is, we haven't reached the amount yet. In fact, my issue is, you had agreed in a document that you have signed that you would use the trucks as security. In the event there is default, and in the event you cannot recover your money in any way, let's assume KMC cannot, which was the case, generate enough funds from the budget project to pay. And they cannot even, in their revenue books, they are even operating on a minus in all their accounts. You have your trucks still. You have your trucks that you have purchased, correct? That's what you were hoping for. Agreed?
I would say yes.
Yes.
That is,
and now, if you transfer the ownership, then you transfer the risk. And you transfer all liabilities. If it was still in your name, you would have paid your own insurance.
I agree.
You agree. The other issue is that going by, I had told you that it appears that the negotiations with respect to Espace Motors started Ajib started well before, in fact, the tender, when in fact GPPA regulations were followed. You had said it was news to you, which is fair enough, very fair enough. You're not the general manager. The minutes of meetings of 14th January 2019, that's just a month after 2018, says, and I read to you, (2.4) but let me just read entirely. It says, a bid evaluation process meeting with Espace Motors management. 2.1, the chairman said the rationale behind calling Espace was to express their concerns on the Lot 3 ward waste truck tender and the processes that followed. He described the meeting as a forum organized to regularize the tender process and to ensure that the credibility of members with regards to any further contracts are not questioned. So there was a meeting to regularize the tender process, and you will see why. The manager director, I believe it should be managing director of Espace Motors, opined that his company was approached by the council to see whether they can have a facility to acquire trucks for waste, as the council for a long time has not been performing well in the area of garbage. They had already started talking to you.
Okay.
They'd already, before the bid.
Before the tender? Okay, yeah.
Before the tender.
Okay.
You guys had already had your meetings. You were the intended suppliers. The managing director of Espace Motors opined that his company was approached by the council to see whether they can have a facility to acquire trucks for waste, as the council for a long time has not been performing well in the area of garbage collection and management. The other reason why council approached his firm was if the facility is available. Was there any possibility to ensure the delivery of the trucks by January 2019, as they wanted to embark on vigorous waste collection exercise in all 19 wards? The company, the MD, explained, knew they could provide a facility. Council was looking, but what they could not guarantee was delivery of the trucks within the proposed time frame. As a result, they contacted their supplier to inquire, but the result was delivery of the consignment could not take place in March 2019. The reason being, council wanted brand new customized compactors. He additionally added that they were made to believe that since the compactors were requested by wards and they will be paying for it, the process may not require GPA regulations. Thus, they went further to invite the manufacturing company to come on the ground and do a survey so that the compactors will be environmentally friendly and fit for purpose. It was later, when they had gone deep into the process, that they were told that GPA regulations must be adhered to. Thus, the lot was tendered and they abided by the principles and bidded legally. What do you make from this?
I agree. I agree. It's mentioning my directors and records are there. I have no records, so I would fully agree.
So you know that perhaps you don't know as the marketing manager or so, but now you know your company was deep into it before the bid. The bid was just a formality between Espace and KMC. But the idea that even the wordings that they used, that they went deep into the process.
Okay.
And they were advised maybe that they had to follow GPA regulations, and they had to come and rectify it, as it was stated earlier in the minutes of meeting, that they had to regularize the tender process.
Okay. So
You understand that? This was this news to you as well?
This, excuse me?
But this new news to you? I said this information is news to you.
No, what you've just read, I've not seen that before. I've not, so. And
you had no idea that your MD was already into deep negotiations with respect to the supply before the tender process?
I'm certain he would have been, yeah.
You would have been.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Just wanted to know, you said they were advised. You mean KMC were advised to?
Of course, they later realized that they had to regularize the process. But then, do I have to read it again?
No, I just wanted, because they have a procurement unit and they know the regulations, so.
Absolutely, I agree. But it was not unknown to Espace as well. Maybe to you, but the point is, KMC, of course, they had a procurement unit. You're right, absolutely right. They knew that the process was wrong, but Espace too was aware of it. Espace did not just come and take part in a fair process, independent from any prior information. They had already had an agreement. A team was on the ground from perhaps the experts or the suppliers to come and do a survey. All these things, the minutes have clearly shown. They went deep into it until they realized that they have to follow procurement.
Maybe we were led to believe that we can negotiate with them
before submitting your bid?
Yeah, like some institutions probably may have like single source, but this is extreme, so it may not be a single source, but maybe we are led to believe that we can negotiate with after they have followed all due procedures.
Yes.
So we go for a meeting or something like that. I'm just assuming.
The idea is your company had prior knowledge. Your company had prior engagement. Your company had prior agreement for supply. The procurement was only to regularize the process. So all the other players that were there, TK Mbodo, Shabin, Ahmad, and so on and so forth, none of them had a chance. None of them had a chance, because the terms of the conditions and the whatsoever would have been drafted to suit Espace Motors, because all the other players were disadvantaged from the word go. Someone started at the startup line, someone went 50 meters away from the 100 meters race. Very disadvantaged. At least that is what it suggests. Do you agree?
Yeah, but I would say, like at the beginning, I have mentioned that for the compactors, it was only two of us, CFO and...
Let's forget the compactors. Let's forget the compactors. It's 19 trucks. You agree that if you had prior information, prior knowledge, prior agreement with KMC, prior discussions, foot-on were sent on the ground, there was a survey, whatsoever done, that would have been put the other competitors at a disadvantageous position. You agree with that?
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I see.
Correct. I believe that will be all for this witness. Unless there are questions from the commissioners, if we need you, we will call you back.
Before we went on break, we have asked you to do some calculations for us.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to get them here, or
Now,
will we give you time?
if you would just refer to the same page you were asking me about.
Yes.
You,
Up there.
you are there.
Yes.
Yeah, you see the subtotal was 123, 188, 873.76.
Yes.
And then the extra 8 extra bins, which were not supposed to be financed, were later on added. It was supposed to be a direct payment, and if you add that, which was 3,600,000, that would bring it to 126,000.
Yeah. So now, what I want to find out is that in the subtotal, is this inclusive of the interest?
Everything.
And it took care of all the charges?
Everything, all the
And
charges.
the agency between Futon and the agency fees between Futon and Espace?
All the charges for
All the
KMC,
charges.
all the liabilities for KMC, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But were these charges and all of this, was it discussed with KMC for them to know the level of liability that
No.
that they were incurring?
No, they knew, because the invoices were there. The invoices were there for the 19 wards, and the council trucks were for the invoice. They had the invoice, and the insurance they actually requested for the 50%, and then the extra bins, which they were supposed to pay directly, they requested to add it on to the financing. So they knew all the information was correct. And
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gaye. We will call you back if we want further clarification on
thank you, ma'am.
some issues.
Thank you.
Thank you. And please endeavor to bring us the documents that we have requested. We ask you to note certain things.
Yes, yes.
Yes, please.
And I'm bringing those documents at a sitting, or I'm just coming to submit them?
Please come and submit them. Then we will let you know when you will come so that we admit them through you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Do I have a time frame to submit them?
Sorry?
Do I have
You can submit them by Monday.
Monday?
Yes.
Okay.
You have challenge in submitting it by Monday?
I was looking at maybe Monday or Tuesday or
Yes,
something
that
like
is
within
why I
that week,
said
within the
Monday.
week of Monday to.
Yes, because we will be going for break, so that is why I said Monday.
Okay, sir. Okay, ma'am. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, just one question. Do you have your award of contract for the eight extra?
The 8 extra bins?
Yes.
No, they were invoices. They were invoices. And
You took part in a separate bid. Do you have that bidding document?
no, it was not bidded. It was a request, what happened is it was supposed to be inside their tender document.
Yes.
But they somehow skipped it.
They skipped it.
They said it was not included, but they cannot just bring one bin for one truck. It was 2 trucks.
Yes.
Each truck comes with 1 bin. Each truck comes with 1 bin.
Yes.
So it means if they offload the bin for garbage collection,
Yes.
the trucks will be lying idle until
Yes.
the bin is filled.
Yes.
And they were going to need each a bin for all the markets or most of the markets. So that's when they had requested for
No, but
the extra.
you knew at the time it has to be bidded. You knew this. If it is excluded, there is no evidence that it was excluded. You knew it has
It
to
was
be
not part of their. It was not part of their tender document.
Yes, yes, and you know you have to take part in the tender. We have the invitation to a meeting, 12 December 2019, the Managing Director of Espace Motors from KMC, and kindly be informed that the contract committee and its meeting on 21st November 2019 has discussed on the price you quoted for the supply of 8 additional skip bins. And as such, you are hereby invited to a meeting on Wednesday, 18 December 2019 to negotiate on the unit price per bin. So you never took part in any. And the unit price per bin is how much? $450,000 is?
That's correct. Yes.
And the total price would have been for $3,600,000
That's correct.
without taking part in a fair process?
Well, I don't think they have invited others to come and take part in a process.
Yes.
We just wrote to provide the bins, and that's what we did.
But you know, like you said, you know, you didn't take part in any tender process.
They didn't flow the tender that we are aware of. We were
And the
not,
reason they gave you was they forgot to add it in the...
No, that was the explanation, that they needed bins in the markets, and the 2 bins will not suffice.
Yes,
So they needed the extra bins,
yes.
and that's when we got the extra bins for them.
Okay.
Because like I
so
said,
the bid document only...
only asked for this 1 skip truck and 1 bin.
one skip truck. and
One
one
skip,
bin.
the skip truck the bin comes with the skip truck,
Yes.
and that was all.
And extra 8 were requested,
Yes, that was requested.
which was not floated. All right. Correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Yes, yes. That's all. That's all.
May I have my document, please? My file.
You gave me your file?
you, you know, I gave you my file, and I reminded you outside that I'm going to need my file.
Yes,
Thank you.
You're right, absolutely right. Let me give you this. Please, you can confirm whether.
That's the one.
Yes, and thank you so much for. Yes.
My pleasure, Council.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Mr. Gaye. Registrar, Mr. Kamara, will be able to advise us.
I'm being told by the registrar that he had to move some witnesses for tomorrow because he anticipated that we may not be done with Mr. Gaye for today. So we may rise till tomorrow.